Do you actually want to die? Or is it you just want to get away from the pain? Hiya, 5 years ago, I was part of a group of Living Warriors in Folkestone. All of us had survived moments when we thought we would take our own lives. First, I want to catch up with Susanna from Living Words, the organisation behind Living Warriors. Hey, how are you? The last time we was all together was when we done the film, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It was so all the Living Warriors were together here for a screening of all the films just before COVID.
That's right.
And we were expecting the films to go across all the cinemas in the southeast.
Yeah.
And of course it was a different story, wasn't it? The films couldn't be shown in the cinema because we were in lockdown, but we were really lucky because the BBC showed the films and they're still on the website there, so that was fantastic.
It's nice to talk about it. Just know that it's not going to hurt anyone. Talking about it, it does make it smaller.
How have you been?
Had a couple of blips along the way, but nothing too major. Since doing the film and I showed my family, it was so easy to reach out this time and they actually listened to me, which really helps. And it's like my son, he said a few things, but I can't remember what it was he said. I'm so glad I took part in that. It was amazing.
This is where we last were together, all the Living Warriors. What is it you're up to then?
Well, funny you should say that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check on everyone, see how they're doing.
Oh, I'm really pleased to hear that and want to hear how it goes.
There's a saying in the army, it takes 7 seconds to get into a jam and 7 years to get out. More dangerous coming out than going in. And it's like that with my mental health.
Oh, hi Andrew. Yeah, it's TJ. How are you doing? Oh, hi. Andy. Hello. Nice to meet you now. Thank you. Yeah, Andy, it's been 5 years since we've done that film together. So how are you doing now?
Great, thank you. Yeah, I feel I've grown since the film. It was a bit of a life marker. I've written a book, a mental health recovery manual, based on my own experience of recovering from suicidal thoughts and plans and being very mentally ill. So I condensed everything I learnt into a manual to help other people avoid suicide and hospital readmissions and recover their mental health.
So it's about evidence, creating evidence, isn't it?
So as a health researcher, I work with NHS trusts and other providers of healthcare to find the evidence behind their interventions. And what we want to do is to get some funding so that we can do a clinical trial to really prove robustly that this really helps people.
I believe there are 3 paths that people are on, and that's getting worse, staying the same, or improving. And my manual helps them to stay on the improving path.
It's got that voice of experience alongside some really helpful exercises for people to use at home.
And my book fills in that gap and helps people living their best life.
I'd like to say, Andy, congratulations on your book. It's just absolutely fantastic what you've done.
There is hope, and from hope, meaning, and from meaning, victory.
That's buoyed me up. I found out that there have been other Living Warrior projects. So I'm going to have a chat with Duncan, who is a warrior from an LGBTQ+ project, where they have created books about kindness and self-harm. How was the project for you?
So much of my life has changed. It was really valuable to me to meet with people and sit and feel genuinely listened to.
That's why I felt like we could speak like freely.
And that what I was sharing was important.
So you found that did make like more conversations easier by doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that too.
It gave me a jumping off point for those conversations. I could ask the person to read what I'd written about it, and then that gave them an insight to where I already was. It helped me to kind of change the way that I was seeing myself and change the narrative a bit.
My confidence definitely grew.
I think some people are saying that it's like unrecognisable almost since then, and I really do think that was a pivot point for me.
Yeah. Well done on what you've done as well.
Thank you.
Take care.
Wow, it's amazing. Talking about how you feel can result in us all being creative. I mean, we've all made books, songs and films as Living Warriors.
Illa, who works on the Living Warriors project, has asked to have a chat with me about something.
It's sad news. I just wanted to talk to you about Sam. He's passed away.
Oh no.
It was a heart-related issue.
My name is Sam. They will stick with you. I should know I've got a few, and it's not always helpful.
So Sam's death, it wasn't suicide, but it was a very early death. He was only just 32.
I've got a video that his family sent through.
Oh, really?
And I wondered if you wanted to
I'd love to
see
see
it.
it, please. Yeah.
Today is the 20th of July 2024, and we are celebrating Sam's life.
And Sam was the type of person that would always put others before himself. He would always think of others, and whenever his mental health struggled, he would always put a smile on his face and say, "Hey, I'm okay, and we're fine. But Sam, you're always thinking of us, I'm always thinking of you. And Sam, cheers for being who you are, and that is always someone who means the world to us. Cheers, Sam."
Hey, lovely. Thank you for showing me that.
He expressed himself so clearly and shared so much.
Yeah, especially about carrying on with the conversation, keeping it going.
Yeah, and I'll always remember that shield.
He had that big shield
Yeah.
in front of him, and he's so passionate about it.
When anyone dies, so many people close to them are affected. When you feel suicidal, you just don't realise your impact.
Remember, you're not alone.
So I'm thinking, how do friends and relatives get support to start their conversations with people?
Well, I found out about Mind's mental health and suicide awareness training. So what I've done is I've asked Mark from Mind to meet me at the Living Words office for a little chat. Well, hiya, Mark.
Hi.
I thought I would chat to you today about the training, what you're offering. It's the Youth Mental Health and Suicide Awareness.
Yeah, so what we try and do is give people the skills to have honest conversations and ask people directly, why are you having these thoughts? Because once you ask the question, kind of like releasing that kind of pressure.
Personally, when you mention that word suicide and people just start panicking.
And we have an acronym called AGE, where we actually encourage people to accept what somebody's saying as their genuine truth. You then also kind of then be genuine yourself, so you be true and be honest. Because sometimes when you have these conversations, even though I've worked in mental health for a long time, sometimes you don't know what to say. So I honestly do say, that sounds really difficult and I don't know what to say right now, but I'm here to listen. And people know when you're being genuine. And then if you can show empathy and caring rather than sympathy and kind of like, I don't know what to do here, and I'm going to try and make it feel better for myself.
Yeah.
Then you can then kind of give that person that slight sense of hope.
Personally, I've had a bit of trouble to do with the stigma, but since doing the film for Living Warriors, I managed to talk to my family better and keep the conversation going, and they understood a bit more about what mental illness means for obviously myself and could mean for other people.
We really need to think about how we're going to address that stigma, because people feel really uncomfortable kind of talking about the subject matter. But we know that actually, if we don't talk about it, then people feel more and more isolated.
Living Warrior India experienced the additional stigma around grief and death as she had lost her baby Toby. I've just heard from India and she's up for a chat.
Hello.
Oh, wow. Hi, India. Hiya.
Oh, I'll be back in 1 second.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Can you say hello?
Oh, India. Oh.
What is it? So my name's Oscar.
Oh.
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Oscar.
So I was 2 last week. Can you say 2? No.
Wow, he's 2.
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Good boy. Should I go find Daddy?
Daddy.
Go on then.
Bye-bye. Bye.
There you go.
Wow, that was emotional. Until you have a son. He must make you think of Toby even more.
Toby was so calm and chilled out, and Oscar is the complete opposite. So they're complete polar opposites of each other.
That's lovely, India. I'm so, so happy for you. So how has your mental health been?
I've had a few little blips, but it's normally around the time of Toby's birthday or anniversaries. But after a few days, a week or so, I'm back to myself.
Yeah.
It's such a taboo subject that mental health is anyway, but especially child loss and stuff like that, no one really knows what to say.
That's the trouble, India, isn't it? It's just when that happens, it's people just ignore it. It's hi, awkward.
The worst thing to do.
And then sometimes they just say nothing.
People have said to me, I don't know what to say, and I just go, that's absolutely fine. Even if you're just there to listen for a minute, or it's still better than just
I agree.
Walking on eggshells around the person and avoiding it completely.
Looking back and all that, how did you feel about the Living Warriors?
It's definitely something that I'm proud of being involved in, and also meeting, being able to meet people who have gone through things as well. I definitely find it a lot easier to talk.
We have to keep expressing ourselves. Definitely.
It's lovely to see you and talk to you.
Oh, and you, India. Made my day. It's been so lovely to catch up with you today. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Keep telling myself how I'm feeling right now. You won't feel like this forever.
Wow, that was so unexpected. Keeping talking, it's so important. Looking at the Living Warrior films and remembering the work we all did together, it's emotional. I can see the me before and the me now. I haven't been able to meet all the warriors, but it's been great to revisit the journeys we all went on. And I've just got a message I'd like to share.
Yes, I do remember reading Mum's Living Warrior book, and it was quite an eye-opener. It was almost, I think I recall saying to my mum that it was the final piece of the jigsaw in areas where I didn't quite understand. How proud I was. Proud that she stood up, proud that she shared her story. I think it's very important to talk about suicide, life problems. People, especially like me, I see it as weakness. I see it as that it's wrong and that I'm weak, and I'm not. And me and my mum have had many conversations, and my mum's helped me through some dark spaces, understood me and never judged. I'm just a little bit lost, and that listening there I strongly believe, can save a life.
Very touching.
It was,
wasn't
it?
Very heartfelt.
I was just really moved by it, and I think to be able to actually not have to hold that down so that you can say what's really going on for you, that just really, really hit me.
There are a lot of people who aren't with us today.
Yeah.
Maybe we could have a toast to those who aren't here with us as well.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, everyone. It's been wonderful catching up. Some sadness, but most of all, let's help each other to speak and have open and honest conversations. See, it only takes one to start the conversation.